everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of Caster Calls a ZombieGrub. Here I am today with not a commentator or a host or analyst, but rather one of the behind the scenes people, a hair and makeup artist, and one that is a lot of cred in the business. This is Rosa, or MamaRosa, as everyone calls her. She's part of the EsportsMakeup team on Twitter and Instagram and everything you can see there. So definitely a bit of a different episode today, but hopefully one that you guys find not just enlightening, but also actually really helpful, because it's just one of those areas that I think is, it's not really thought about a lot, but I think it's actually very important for many different reasons, of which we'll get into actually with you. So thank you so much for coming on. And this is also just kind of us like catching up after like a year.
You're like, hey, can you come on? I was like, yes. You're like, but I'm gonna, yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk. Yes. Hi, can we? How many times do you want me to say yes, woman? I'm here for you. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I would like to say that we go way back, but actually, as far as you in StarCraft and you in esports, like I was one of the newer people that you got to meet. You know, I came in even after a couple seasons after Challenger even originally started, and you were hired on. I think the year after, actually, they finally reached out to me. So we met like probably only like 2 years ago, honestly.
I'm pretty sure we've met at parties prior to that.
But
we hadn't worked together until like recently.
I think you're right. I don't know if, but I remember, I mean, yeah, we did meet at a party once. I helped a very, let's say, sick woman vomiting in the bathroom. And apparently
someone was not me.
No, it was not you. No, sorry. Like that was a bad way to lead things off. But no, it was one of those, is a girl bonding moments though, where like, you know, there's like 20 girls fit into like the bar bathroom, right? And it's like one person needs a tampon, another person's vomiting her guts out. And I was like, oh God, this person.
Don't forget the girl that's mad at her boyfriend or significant other, because that party that we met at, and that particular assistant, which no longer works for EsportsMakeup, does not represent what we stand for and cannot hold their liquor the way we do. Because yes, we can hold our liquor. Because it was just such a clusterfuck of situations, right? Because Lorena's like, oh my God, let me get this girl to the restroom. And she was walking up just fine, but Lorena's like spidey senses like took off. And right when they walk into the restroom, the girl disappeared, and Lorena ends up in like a 30-minute long, no, sweetie, you're beautiful, stop thinking of yourself this way conversation, as we always end up in this. And retrospectively, I'm always like, why did I sit in the bathroom for an hour talking to a random person? And then I go, okay, but they needed it, so I'm there for them. And in the moment, I'm like, no, bitch, we don't let anybody talk to us like this. Like, it's a weird dynamic in the women's restroom. So if you're ever wondering why it takes so long, it's because we're wearing Spanx, pantyhose, a skirt, heels, and like a bunch of other things. And we need an ego boost someone, and we're taking selfies.
Yes, that's all that happens actually during these after parties. So
it's true.
Someone knew her and knew that she was like, you know, the person to give her to basically was you guys. So I remember I found you, and that was kind of all I knew. And otherwise it was like rumors of like MamaRosa, just like stories. And I was like, well, she sounds really cool. And then of course,
this
Fear Dragon
creature in the midst of Blizzard.
Yes, exactly.
StarCraft shows.
Exactly. She just comes into the bathroom, tells you an uplifting story, and just disappears. But yeah, the Fear Dragon and Nate and Jeff, were all worked with you for Challenger, and well before that as well. So me and Fear Dragon had to be the new guys, and Fear Dragon get picked up a lot for Challenger. But anyways, they were saying like, yeah, how cool you were, and I was like, oh, hopefully one day I get to meet her. And finally it happens, but that was like only 2 years ago.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because it's like, I meet you and I'm like, and you're my favorite StarCraft child. And everyone's like, what the fuck? You've only known her. I'm like, I don't care. It has been said, it has been declared, and we are done.
Yeah, so I did
feel like even Lorena's like, you and ZombieGrub, man. Like, you guys just we're like, hi. And then just like went into a drunken rant into the corner somewhere, and you're perfectly sober at like 5 o'clock in the morning at a StarCraft show.
Yep. That was that was at I keep mentioning it, but it was at WCS Challenger back when it was happening. But you come from way back before that. So let me just sit here and listen to your story and how you've been involved
Ooh.
with esports.
So, oh God, 2013. It was 2013. I've told this story so many times now that like I'm starting to like wonder how much of it is like accurate now. I'm like, did this happen? Are we here? But it was 2013. I had just finished working on a film with a friend of mine, tall, handsome greaser dude. I loved him to death. He was amazing. His name's Eric. And he just like randomly tells me like, "Hey Rosa, I referred you for a job. I think it's perfect for you." I'm like, "Cool, like, let you know if I hear about it. Like, I appreciate you looking out for me." Fast forward a couple of months. I'm in WoW. I'm like, I just finished up like the Nixia lair dungeon with a few of my guildies, and I was like, "All right, guys, I'm out. I gotta go. I just got this email." So I'm like reading the email and I'm like scanning. Okay, you want to hire me for a job? These are the dates. Signed, Blizzard Entertainment. Oh shit! And it just like the feeling comes over me, right? Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this isn't real. Are they finally paying me? Am I gonna stop selling my soul to them? Have the like roles reversed? Have the tables turned? Do I get money from Blizzard and I not infinitely give Blizzard my entire life savings? And sure enough, it was for BlizzCon, and I'm sitting there going, how do I respond to this? Yes. Short answer. Yes. Oh, yeah, by the way, big fan. Play a lot of WoW for the Horde. Lol. Best wishes, Rosa. And the woman that was doing the hiring, her name was Yvette. She was like, "Oh my god, you play, you're a gamer. Oh my god, I didn't realize that you also like were into our games. That's amazing. We would love to hire you. Let me do the formalities of talking to everybody. We love your portfolio. We love the fact that you're a gamer. Like, we would love to hire you." I get hired and I am there at 2013 BlizzCon covering the StarCraft stage, the World of Warcraft stage, and the Hearthstone Invitational when Artosis wins and does the kiss of the trophy. And that was really the start. That was the start of working in esports. That was my start with StarCraft, and that is a big reason why StarCraft just like forever holds my heart, because it's like I started with StarCraft. That is where I bonded with people immediately, and just like continue. I always end up going back to the StarCraft stage, because even the following year when I was able to hire more makeup artists to like help me cover all these other stages, it was still me at StarCraft, but Lorena was with Heroes of the Storm and WoW or something else. I always stayed with StarCraft. So that's basically how I got involved in esports.
A friend referenced you, and
A
that
friend
was
referenced me. Yeah.
that was that's pretty lucky. I mean, I've heard somewhat similar stories before of just people being like living in Austin and suddenly just being like, "Well, we just like live, like there's apparently Blizzard has stuff around here. Why not join up?" So it can't happen out of the blue. But I think what also is kind of unique is that this wasn't them picking up a tester. This wasn't them picking up a commentator that was
Right.
local because they were being cheap. This was them actually hiring hair and makeup for production that was in 2013. Like, yeah, I'm thinking by then there would have been a couple of artists in studio for maybe like the WCS European stuff. Like, it was becoming more of an actual studio as opposed to a camera and two guys in t-shirts. But it still was kind of getting there. So for companies in general to actually be like, we need to hire these people. I mean, what was the atmosphere like when you entered? Was it by then kind of like that's what they expected? Did you replace someone, or was this one of the first years?
It was, from what I was told, I was the first artist on the scene as far as esports is concerned. BlizzCon has had other makeup artists, and cons as a whole have had other makeup artists at other stages. Excuse me, there's like a hair dangling from my lip gloss. And this is why there's a makeup artist to stop hair dangling from lip gloss on camera. But But there have always been other makeup artists at cons, at shows. It just wasn't within esports. And I mean, I remember watching like Halo 3, MLG days on G4 and just looking at the guys and going, ooh, you shiny. Just take a napkin, pat it down, do some go to the bathroom, take like a toilet seat cover, rip it off and dab your face. It'll absorb the oil. Ghetto, but it does the trick, and I just remember cringing so hard. And like wanting to be that person, wanting to be the one that goes, you're not going to look like this anymore. I will take care of you. I never thought in a million years that would actually turn out to be me. But, when I started, it wasn't normal. They were like, what? Makeup artist? I think the StarCraft guys were easier to work with because it was like, yeah, we deal with this in EU and we deal with this in Korea.
Mm.
I feel like the WoW scene at the time was very NA. So they were like, what? No. And 2013, I remember this so goddamn vividly because I had someone from ESL, EU, like come up to me and they're like, we need you at the WoW stage now. And I was like, what's going on? And I'm like, and again, I was the only person covering all these stages and covering like doing makeup for everybody. So I'm like booking it to the other stage, which if you haven't been to a BlizzCon, trust me, even taking the behind the scenes, like black curtain through black curtain route, you're still going very far. So I go from like one opposite end of the convention center to the other. And I realize, oh, Conan O'Brien is here. And he's doing his whole segment, the like Clueless Gamer, I think it's called, where he like comes on and he like plays a video game with like someone who's known for gaming or within the gaming industry. And he just acts like, a fool about like, I have no idea what's going on. And so he comes onto the stage to commentate WoW with two of my WoW casters that did not go through hair and makeup because they were like, why do I need this? Also, P.S. if you start hearing my cat screaming in the background, it's because it's her feeding time in 30 minutes. So she likes to make sure that we know 30 minutes ahead of time.
Of course, yes.
As cats do. But so we're doing this whole segment and I'm sitting there like ghost face, like, oh my God, I have 1 minute to do like what would take me 10 minutes to do. So I like rush up and I'm like, as he's still commentating over the game and there are no cameras on him, doing his full face makeup and trying to like powder and dab away as much as I can. And like, you know, the casting desks, they're small. There's not a lot of space. So I'm like juggling items and like dabbing his face and then like shoving it back in my purse. And then he looks at me and just kind of goes, "Ree," and I'm like, later. Like, get off the stage. And then up goes Conan and they do their whole segment. But that's what it was. People weren't used to makeup. And even within the StarCraft like crew, people were still not used to new makeup artists at that. So even though they were welcoming to me, it was still kind of like a, oh, we don't really know you, so whatever, cool, thanks, bye. And then just like moving on. As opposed to what it is now where we're all hanging out backstage and like, you know, talking, catching up and whatnot. And when Lorena came on the scene a year later, they're like, you're not Rosa. Who are you? And then it took her time to then like break in and like get people used to her and have to build that relationship. And now it's to the point where if we hire an assistant or if we hire someone, it's like without a doubt, like, oh, you're a part of EsportsMakeup. Cool. Hey, what's up? Here, have a Coke. Enjoy a Red Bull. Here's a Monster. Like, you know, it's a little bit more welcoming now. But when I was on the scene, when I first started on the scene, I should say, that was not the case. It was a lot of like, please, for the love of God, I promise you, I'm not going to make you look like a drag queen. I know that you're super scared about that. Just sit there. You're going to look normal. You're going to look like yourself. I promise you. Yeah, a little bit of, yes, I understand a little bit. I'll just do a little bit of makeup. And it was just like having to like coerce people into like sitting in my chair.
Yeah, I see that all the time. And then also like at this point, a bunch of the StarCraft people are like, they know it's on the way. They'll like get ready for it, but they'll be like, oh, you know, it's so obnoxious. I'll just like look at them and be like, really, guys? Because, you know, women basically just like in general are going to have much longer sessions in that chair, even if you're doing a light look. So I sit there for like an hour
Yeah.
usually, and they're gone in like 15 minutes, and I'm just like, wow, what a bother for you guys. Um, but they,
Oh, you mean to tell me you didn't have to wake up an hour before everybody else to get
yeah,
here, and it's only you and Rosa in the makeup room by yourselves like an hour beforehand because
yes,
you had to do hair and makeup? Oh no, you poor unfortunate thing. That's why
yeah.
whenever Nate Light's like, I don't want it, I'm like, shut up, come here, sit down. You get no excuses.
And that's another thing that like people probably don't know about, but I mean it's really sucky. Like I wish I could just do whatever the guys get, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's good, but it just it wouldn't really fly. So that's like girls have to be there an hour earlier or do their own, which is something that people do. Smix does her own. But then even then, of course, it's looking up 2 hours earlier in their hotel rooms to do it, right? But absolutely, that was something we had to deal with a Challenger, and I was renting a place with Fear Dragon for a couple of weeks when we did that, and poor Fear Dragon also had to come 45 minutes earlier because I had to get makeup done. And
But
we
that was
also
his choice. That was his choice. He could have easily, like,
got another Uber.
got another Uber,
Yeah.
but he decided to, like, solidarity.
Yeah.
And then he would always regret it because then, me and you were together and Ravi was there. So what would happen? Me and you would sit there picking on Ravi all morning.
We're trying to get away from the idea that everyone picks on Riviera. You're
Oh, okay.
ruining
Are we
the
pulling back from
reparations
that
here.
now? Okay. That's so 2019. I mean, we never did that. We never
Of
taught
course
Ravi
not.
things that he shouldn't know, and we never broke his innocence.
No, we never talked about dirty beds. See, these are the stories that just there's like
Lorena randomly said that to me the other day. She's like, "Oh, is that a dirty bed, Rosa?" Because I talked about flipping my pillow upside down, like on the other side. She was
right.
like, "Oh, was it a dirty bed, Rosa?" And I like lost my shit. I could not stop laughing. And then of course it made me think of Edgar Allan Hitler,
Oh,
which then made me laugh even harder.
Oh, it's so good. And
God bless that man.
there's inside jokes, there's like esports inside, StarCraft inside, and then there's 6 a.m. Challenger inside jokes. That's oh
They'd
guys.
be like, "Wow, you guys really lost your minds on that one, huh?" We're like, "Yes,
Yeah, honestly.
yes, we did."
Yeah, it really was 6 a.m. And kind of, pushing us back on topic here. That is also something that I think, the behind the scenes people in general, but hair and makeup, but also talking about like the technical directors and all those types of guys, like you guys have to be there usually whenever anyone else is there. Like the first person that gets there, you also have to be there. Sometimes unnecessarily, like talent doesn't get there for another 2 hours, but they still do weird call times. The industry insiders, I guess, will know that much. Call times can be very stupid, but you guys are there from the start. So how has your relationship with these companies developed over the years when it came to kind of getting your voice out there as to what is needed and what's not needed?
Well, I mean, after my first BlizzCon and first getting into esports, I transitioned over to working with ESL NA. And at that time, again, it was still very fresh in NA, right? Like esports was finally like starting to actually plant like roots in an actual city in North America, as opposed to just being like, "Hey, we're an org." Like an actual studio was developing. So I'm working with ESL, and I was like, "So what time do I have to be here?" They're like, "Oh, well, everyone's gonna be here at like 6 a.m." And I'm like, "Cool." I would come in at 6 a.m. And I'm like, "What time is talent supposed to be in?" They're like, "Oh, they won't be here till 10. The fuck you bring me in 4 hours early for, fam? Like, what? And so I was like, "Oh, okay, well, is it the same for tomorrow?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, cool. I really don't have anything to do here until they get here. So I'll come in an hour earlier." I always like to be there 30 minutes to an hour before talent, regardless. So if your call time is 6, I'm going to try to be there at 5 anyways, just because I need to set up. I need to sip my coffee alone in a room in the complete dark, wondering what I've done with my life for like 10 minutes before you guys show up. So I always like to be there early. But it took a lot of time because I come from traditional entertainment. So I come from like film, music videos, photo shoots, that whole world, and transitioned into esports, which, as much as I'm a gamer, was like, it's still the Wild West. It's still new. It's still like figuring out how we do things per se. And at that time, it was like early settlers. Like we're still trying to figure out everything about it. So there was no call sheet. There were no call times. It was everyone's gonna be here or be at the studio. And I would slowly have to like teach people like throughout the studio, like, oh, our call time, like what's that? When we get here. Oh yeah, our call time. And it was like little things like that. And it's more like people were transitioning from film and like realizing, oh my God, I could be doing that instead. That started becoming normal. And there, we started using more entertainment industry jargon, but it was a lot of having to go, well, in traditional entertainment or in film, in the real world, I fucking hate when people say that, but in the real world, this is what we do. This is what we say. This is how we set it up. And it even took a long time to go from being set up next to like dusty crates in the back of a hallway with no lights to having a light. That was a big upgrade. Like people don't even understand. So when Red Bull built their makeup room, I remember like tweeting it like, oh my God, guys, I have vanity lights again. And Seltzer like replied, she goes, who said you could do makeup on easy mode? No. Only cell phone lights for you, Missy. Fast forward to TwitchCon that year. The lights weren't working. So I had to use a cell phone light to do her makeup. She's like, I have no one to blame but yourself. Yep. So I'm like going down on her face. But it was slow. Now things are like, oh, Rosa, do you need a table? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. Astute observation. I would like a chair too, if that's possible. Like it's small things that like people are starting to go, oh yeah. I'm still the last person to get hired on a show. I'm still the last thing on everyone's mind. I'm still the like very end. It'll be like 2 days before a show and someone's like, someone forgot to call makeup. And I'm like, hi. Yeah. Your talent would have been rather upset. I'm available. I will be there.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing too, because like in context, guys, like depending on the esport, but for StarCraft 2, I mean, us commentators have gotten calls as soon as 3 days before flying to Poland, for instance. That's what happened to me and Fear. So if they're getting even later, like it's they better be ready on a moment's notice.
My favorite's always when I know that someone's getting hired before they know. So there are rare times where I get hired like almost immediately. They're like, oh, we have a show. We need to staff up hair and makeup. And I'm like, oh, this is exciting. I'm the first 10 people getting hired. Cool. Who's my talent? Because that's I always like to know who I'm working with so I can prepare myself, like bring gifts if it's someone that I haven't seen in forever and I have something for them. And they'll be like, oh yeah, ZombieGrub's working on us. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I'll talk to you when you get there. I'm like, yeah, dude, when I found out you were getting hired, like, that was awesome. You're like, what? I just found out 12 hours ago. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How did I know before you got hired?
Yeah, that's a little disheveled for sure. But that's, I mean, that's part of the esports experience. So for you, I mean, having to push for the idea that not only, I think there's two things at play here. One, that hair and makeup is necessary to really improve the overall show. But then you kind of already mentioned it, that after a while, after the initial, like, I don't need makeup, so maybe girl, whatever, people want hair and makeup. I mean, initially I went in and I was like very, very nervous because I have acne scarring and redness and all that stuff. So I was like, I know from talking to people that all they do generally is put foundation on these, or not even foundation, just powder on these guys. I don't know what they're going to have for me. And I was kind of right to be afraid. It's actually twice now. Once when I first got in, they didn't realize a woman was going to be on the show that needed makeup. And then actually last year's 2019's Montreal, they didn't realize I was going to be on the show either. So they had to go and buy makeup for women. So this is like something that I've actually like, and we've kind of talked about this, but that I should actually be asking when I negotiate for these offline studios events that were going to happen. are going to happen one day again, hopefully. Um, like, who is my hair and makeup? Like, do you already have that? Do you have it in general? And who is it
Yeah.
going to be so I can communicate with them beforehand? And you kind of mentioned how like that actually can be something that helps you guys as well. So you can talk a little bit more about that and how talent and you work together.
So, um, there's so many levels of this, right? Because with esports, I had just said this on a friend's show as well. People don't realize our importance. So we already mentioned that, right? The follow up is that people don't realize the difference between a professional makeup artist versus their friend that really likes makeup. And those are two different things. And that's even versus a cosplayer. Just because you have a cosplayer coming to the show does and that they do their own makeup, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to do makeup on someone else. And the chances are that they're only going to use their personal things, right?
Mhm.
When you've seen my kit a million times now. When I come in, I have bags that are specifically for you guys. You guys each have your individual bags with your names on it. To have your powder and your lip balm and your puff that also has your name written on it because we don't want cross contamination. I don't want to powder you and then go powder Ravi with the same one because one, there's a few different shades in between the two of you. Two, it's just like, whether we like it or not, bacteria lives on our face. We don't want to go transfer that, and a lot of times before COVID, some of us would still work with like the lingerings of a cold. We would still work with the lingerings of a flu. And then next thing you know, we'd be like, oh, we're totally not contagious. We're good. I'm on the last day of being sick. Next thing you know, we infected everybody, right? Which I think is why esports has been so good about like COVID-19 and staying
Oh,
indoors
yeah.
because we're like, we've seen the effects of this at a con. But there's a huge difference in hiring a professional that comes with all the things that are ready for everybody at any given moment. So even when I go and I work and it's just like the guys, I still have my kit for women's makeup in the bag. Do I need to carry it? No, but you never know when they randomly be like, "Oh my god, so and so isn't feeling well. We called this chick to see if she was available because she lives nearby. She's coming into the studio." Next thing you know, now I have to make sure that I'm rushing to be able to get this woman through hair and makeup. And this has happened before. So it's just one of those like, thank God I'm paranoid and I carry everything on me. But it's difficult, like you're carrying a lot of stuff. I know that a lot of artists like to only carry things for that particular job and be ready for that particular job. But in esports, you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what's coming up. You never know who decided to randomly visit the studio and then they go, "Oh my god, so and so is here. Hey, can you just jump into makeup real quick and then just go jump on cast because that'd be hilarious. Or that'd be really cool if we get to showcase you. Are you cool with that? Awesome, buddy. Thanks." And then, random guest appears at the desk. And as far as like talent and makeup artist communication, it's such a special relationship that we have. We work the most intimately together. Within minutes of meeting my talent for the first time, I am literally touching your face. I am literally like combing through your hair. It's like a very intimate setting. So if I get to talk to my talent before that, yes, please, God, let me know. Do you have any allergies? Do you suffer of acne? Do you have any situations, any sensitivities? Oh no, you're all good. Cool. Can't wait to work with you. It gives that opportunity to talk to your talent and for you to talk to your makeup artist to make sure that you're in safe hands as well. How many horror stories have we heard? How many have you been through, where you're in X city at X event and then homegirl dipped her lipstick in this one and then applied it to you and then dipped it again and then applied it to Sue. Like we I've heard enough of these horror stories to just be like, I'm repulsed. And I always want to make sure that you guys feel safe and comfortable with me.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the bacteria side of things is definitely very important. Definitely very relevant to right now as well.
yeah.
But for me, it was always about like that confidence, like there's another thing that maybe people don't quite understand if they've not been in a studio is that it's a very different setup. When she was talking about lighting, and maybe you've seen it like in some like, behind the scenes stuff, but it's the mirror with all the light bulbs on it. Like it's very bright, because that's what the studio lights are going to do to you. It's also going to make you really hot usually. So there's a lot of reapplying of the
Yeah.
powder. But it's very glaring. So, you probably look pretty good most of your time, probably. But once you get up there with the high definition cameras and the lighting, it's like all the jokes you've ever seen on 30 Rock where she turns into like the old hag, like it highlights every flaw. So for hair and makeup, I think it really is a trust thing, not just because of like, yeah, you're very weirdly intimate, but because you are trying to present your best self, and you're trying to present not just your best self and like actually be kind of a product. It's a little weird, but that's kind of what it is. But you also want to feel very good about yourself as well. You don't want to be talking to the guy next to you and be like, oh my God, I think my hair is coming undone, or I think my makeup smeared or something like that, right? It's actually very bothersome. I would speak from
Yeah.
experience where I've
It's
been like, I didn't check
stressful, right?
beforehand. Oh shit.
I think another thing is that it's not only the fact that the lights are really bright in the makeup room, but then like whoever you're working with, whatever makeup artist that you're with, has to understand what the lights are actually going to be on stage. Because the lights in the makeup room should always be true white, so I can see your true complexion and your true features. But then StarCraft tends to lean a little bit more blue for its lighting, right? When we look at games like Hearthstone or CSGO, it's a little bit more orange. It's a little bit more warm. Well, CSGO is like very orange, whereas Hearthstone is very warm, very tavernous, right? Trying to get that in feel. And then you switch over to Overwatch and it's like white, white, white lights, white everything, blow everything out. It's glamorous. Ah! That's always a vibe I got from Overwatch when I was on that stage. I'm like, oh, yes. Very, very hyped up. But you want to make sure that you have a makeup artist that understands that understands that the lightings are going to change, that the color temperature is going to change. That means that you are going to look different, that your color temperature is going to change, that your lighting is going to change. So it's really, really important to like also be able. It's like being a makeup artist. There's so many levels to it that people forget. It's like I need to understand lighting. I need to understand anatomy. I need to understand color theory. And in esports, I need to understand your brand. Like, if I do your makeup, it's going to be completely different from how I do Seltzer's. It's going to be completely different from how I do, like, well, Sue does her own makeup, but how I would do Sue's makeup, how I would do Pansy's makeup or Gillyweed or any other female talent in our space. You guys are completely different brands with completely different styles and personalities. So why would I do your makeup the same? That just doesn't make sense. And a lot of makeup artists do like that cookie cutter, whatever's trending look, which I get, don't get me wrong. They're a lot of fun to do, but it doesn't work for everyone and it's not appropriate for everyone, and like you said, you're a product. We need to make sure that the ZombieGrub product is out there being represented as ZombieGrub, not as what is she? Is she wearing? She's wearing a lot of makeup. That's weird. It's off-putting when we then go back and look at your stream, and you tend to rock a no makeup look. You're always very casual, very natural. So why would I then go and put you in like blue lipstick and like blackout eyeshadow? There may be like a finals event where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna doll me and you always have this talk, like, what are you thinking today? Okay, I'm gonna doll you up a little bit because it's the last day. Or I might brighten up your lipstick, but it's never like now you look like a Kardashian. Like let's not do that. And I think that goes with the trust thing. Like you want to make sure that whoever's working with you is someone that's gonna understand that, or at the very least that you can say that to, and they'll go, got it, natural. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From my experience, most makeup artists are quite, they're talkers, for the most part, it's kind of part of the job perhaps, but yeah, sometimes they're not, and that's fine too. But the ones you like don't say anything are the ones that you really start to get scared. You're just like, oh my God, what's happening? But I've been like, I'm like open to new things, I guess, but I do think that's kind of an important topic to bring up. And we bring it up a lot on the show when it comes to, not how you look, but this is exactly what we want to bring up, is that branding can't even come down to how you look. So that, base level means that you don't look like a slob. And here's one thing I want to, let us just rant this, about this together. There is a difference between being a handsome motherfucker and being a groomed, good looking person, right? Like people always are like, not always, but there's some people out there who are like, I didn't get hired because I'm a bit overweight. I have acne scars.
Yeah.
There's a physical flaw in me. And it's like, probably not, dude. Like, that's probably not actually your problem. It's maybe because of your physical appearance. Like, that is the honest, brutal truth of the industry, but it's not because of something that you probably couldn't fix. And I think that's also something that I want to get your insight on, your
Yeah.
recommendations on too. Like, what do you suggest to people who are like, well, I just throw on whatever, like, I've never even thought about this stuff. Like, is that hurting my image? Like, do you think that it is? And what can they do to kind of fix that?
Absolutely hurting your image. A 1,000,000% hurting your image. It's like if I'm not on camera, if I'm not like at work, my hair is up in a top knot. There is no eyeliner. I live in my eyeliner. You've seen me with like
Yeah.
eyeliner that goes for days all the time, right? Like that shit's not on. I'm in sweats right now. Like there are no shoes on.
Of
But
course.
here up where people can see me, my hair is done. My makeup's on. I might shovel my bangs around a lot because they're new and I'm still getting used to them, but um I know that as a makeup artist, I need to present the clean image of a makeup artist, of someone that works in entertainment. And that's the thing. When you're on camera and your job is to be on camera, you need to prepare yourself for these things. You're going to be critiqued on the way that you look, whether you like it or not, whether it's fair to you or not. A lot of people are like, well, I'm hired here because of my expertise on this, and that. And I'm like, you sure are. There are also 20 other people that have your same level of expertise that would love to be in your position. Now, you're a little bit more groomed, so you got the job. And I get a lot of if what I think really matters and they're gonna hire me regardless of how I look, nobody. This is a professional industry. You need to look appropriate. Like I always say, like, what would you go into a job interview? How would you go in? You'd probably go freshly showered, and please, for the love of God, when we return to cons, freshly shower and deodorant. And you know what? Just carry it with you. Carry like an aerosol spray with you, and like throughout the day, just saying.
Honestly,
It's
I
in my
do
bag.
that. Like,
I know I do too.
yeah, I think it's actually a very good idea, especially with the whole, again, like the bright light thing and like
Yeah,
working insane hours. Like, it's just like
yeah.
it's the being human, I guess. Like, you might need it.
Just maybe. Like it's funny because I also get a lot of like, oh, you're a makeup artist in gaming. Like, how much makeup do you need for those clueless nerds? I'm like, some of those nerds are like extremely
Mm.
fucking attractive human beings. Where you just look at them, and you're like, God, you're an Adonis amongst like us mortals. What the fuck? And so the easiest tips that I would say is translucent powder if you're going on camera, because translucent powder will just at least absorb the oil. It's not going to change your complexion. It's not going to hide any acne. It's not going to hide any scars, but at least you won't look shiny. And not looking shiny goes a long way. My follow-up is do your hair, groom your hair. Like, it's something as simple as just brushing it back will do the trick. Sorry, my pillow started getting uncomfortable, so now I'm like adjusting there. Something as simple as like, brushing your hair back will do the trick. Having that whole messy gamer hair thing, it's not cute. It's never been cute. We all know it's not cute. That's why streaming didn't start until like recently becoming a more popular like mainstream thing, right? Good lighting. Good lighting will change anyone's life. Like, even just like at my desk, right? I don't have expensive lights. These are like $15 lights from Amazon. Even just turning on one panel and turning it off makes a huge difference in the way your skin is shown and lit up. I would say like a secret product would be dry shampoo, because you shouldn't wash your hair every day because it's like really strained, like it's really bad for your scalp. But dry shampoo will at least take the grease away. So it like just helps you maintain like a quote unquote cleaner image for longer. It's tricky. It's tricky because it's also figuring out like what's my brand, right? Like who
Mhm.
are you presenting? What are you bringing forward? And then along with that, then it's going in and fine tuning your appearance and making sure that it works in a more polished way. It's like you don't have to not be who you are, just clean it up. And that will make a huge difference. Take a shower, promise you, does wonders.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's kind of the basic stuff, but that's, you know, we're kind of talking about the basic stuff. Like if you're there's going to be like, it is a lot like, just finding your style, but to like an even greater degree. But that's what people did. I mean, this is stereotypical for women, but you know, they start kind of experimenting with makeup, doing things that look really bad. And that's why when there's bad makeup, it looks like a high schooler did it. Right. That's why we say that is because they're usually experimenting in that phase and they kind of figure it out around college. And it's like, you guys have to do that too. Me, a woman who didn't go through that phase is still kind of figuring it out. But luckily I'm in that part where I have hair makeup artists that can kind of help me with it. But the guys can go through that too, trying on different styles. I mean,
facial hair.
Yeah.
What shape? Full beard, goatee, mustache, soul patch. Never do a goddamn soul patch. I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut you that experimental phase. I'm gonna cut that experimental phase for you. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then learning, oh wait, I should take care of my beard as well. The amount of times that I hear beard oil. So you put something in your beard? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why some guys have really shiny, like brushed beards? Yes. Oh my God, he gets it. So proud I could cry. Like, the amount of times of like I've explained, bar soap doesn't go on your face. Bar soap goes on your body. Face wash goes on your face. But my bottle says it's a 10-in-1. 10. I can only think of 4 that could be in a 1. Where are you getting the other 6? Like Lorena and I sat there and we tried figuring out. We're like, all right, face wash, got it. Shampoo, conditioner, that's 3. Body wash, 4. What are the other 6? Aftershave, shaving
maybe
cream?
Okay, yeah,
maybe okay. 5.
What
are the other 5?
Maybe it works as foot powder as well. Who knows? Like 10-in-1. Like he does everything.
Lubricant, foot powder.
Oh no. Ooh, yeah. No. Okay. Anyway, so
moving on.
That is not suggested. It's not approved for this podcast.
Remember, I'm against the 10-in-1. I'm not here for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I think another thing that like is a very common thing that everyone always suggests, this is for like your daily living, everyone, is lotion. So
moisturizer. Yes.
Yeah. Moisturizer. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. And I know like initially it's going to feel like it kind of like it greases you up. It kind of feels like maybe it is what's causing you to be shiny. That's why you put on a little bit before and then work with it after. But it does really help. It also helps to apply the makeup, which is nice.
Yeah, because it helps give glide to the makeup. So a lot of times when your skin is really dry and you put on that liquid and then you push it, you'll see the cracklies, right? Like what looks like a desert, like the typical desert landscape. And you're like, why isn't this working?
Yes.
And then do the other side. Put on a little bit of moisturizer, let it sit in your skin, and then apply that same foundation. You're like, oh my God, it's going everywhere. I don't even need that much. It works. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And please do not confuse moisturizer with body lotion. Same concept as the bar of soap. Body lotion is for here down. Moisturizer is for here. Body lotion can go on your hands. Hand lotion can go on your hands and body, but neither of them go on your face. I cannot. That's another one that I have to just like.
I think
why do these products exist?
Another really good thing to do is actually ask questions. I don't think makeup artists are really worried about revealing their secrets to someone who is just sitting there going like, oh, you do the thing. Like they're probably not worried. So if you want to ask them like, what's that you're putting in my hair? What brand is that? Like what color is that? Like, I mean,
I would follow that up with pushing it to this extreme. You are the person that is having these products applied to you. You should be able to be told like what items are being put on you. Like you're not just gonna put some random thing on me and I'm not gonna be like, yo, what are you using? Like even when Lorena's working on me, who's my business partner and I trust with my life and my child and my cats, I'd still be like, yo, what are you using? Why are you putting that on my face? Oh, okay. And just like sit there and let her do the thing, you know? if you want to learn more about grooming and about how you should maybe do your hair and makeup if you're at an event and that isn't an option where an artist is not hired, or if you just want to like upgrade how you are how you're streaming and how you appear on stream, ask the questions. Oh, you're using liquid foundation. Why are you using liquid? Because there are different types of foundation. I know that that's going really in depth for some people, but just be like, yo, okay, cool. Ask your makeup artist, oh, what color am I? Oh, I'm a B15 in whatever random company. Cool, thanks. And then, later, hey, or if you like the way that you look, they should add that in too. If you go on camera and you're like, yo, I look dope, go to a Sephora, go to a Macy's, go to wherever they sell makeup and be like, do you got the B15? Cool. And then hit up your makeup artist, hit them up on Instagram, on Twitter. If you guys have no one else to ask, hit me up at EsportsMakeup. Lauren and I are more than happy to just be like, oh no, don't use that. Nope, we don't like this product because of this, or it might not work for you because of that. Ask the questions. If you don't know if you have normal, dry, or oily skin, ask your makeup artist while they're working on you. Hey, what kind of skin do you say I have? Oh, you're using that hair product? What kind of hair would you say I have? And then like little by little, you'll start figuring out what's going to work for you and what doesn't. Ask all the questions.
Yeah. And then I think other thing is that when you do find a style that you like, either take your own photograph in a well-lit area or find the photograph of someone taking, the photographers and have that as a reference. That's certainly like you are asked by the better makeup artists, like, what do you like? Or do you have a style that you prefer? Because if you're anything like me out there, you're probably just going to be like, I did the twisty thing, like the hair that goes like this. And you're just like, you're totally lost.
I remember when you said that and I was like, curly hair? Okay. You're like, yeah, the kind that does this. And I was like, did you? Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Let's give you tornado hair. And then I went and curled your hair.
Exactly. So it's always better to be like, kind of like this. And it's obviously better if you are the one that is being shown what it looks like on you, as opposed to just saying like, maybe you look like Sue would be a very weird thing for me to say. Maybe you could do it, but
you would look very on you. It would look very Kardashian.
I bet it
on you, like if we took her look and put it onto you, it would translate as very Kardashian.
Okay, I gotta go for that look next time.
Yeah, because Sue likes to do more bronzy now. She sticks in the earth tones a little bit more now.
Okay.
And she has a very structured brows. You don't like, so from what I've noticed when I do your makeup, you don't do structured brows that much. Everything's a little bit softer. So it would just be like, can we, you know what? Can we do this one day? Can I make you look like Sue?
I mean, you're just going to become like Edgar Allan Hitler again, though, where you're just like, you bring it up, you're like, can I do the Spider-Man look? And then suddenly Nate becomes a poet Hitler. Like, I feel like we got to try and at least explain this joke, all right? Like,
okay, all right. So, oh God. Nate tweeted out, like, I'm going to be emo Spider-Man or something like that. So I replied, like, oh my God, because this was in between weeks of Challenger or something like that. And I reply like, oh my God, can we please do this for the last day? Can I please do your hair like this? And he's like, yeah, sure. I was like, dope. So we get to the studio and I'm doing Nate's hair and makeup and In Control is next to me. He's sitting in a chair to my left. And then I combed his hair down. And before I could even like step back and like try to see what I'm going to do, Jeff just looks over and he's like, huh, interesting. And we look, it's like, Rosa's got you looking like Edgar Allan Hitler. And then I look up at Nate again, and then Nate kind of gives him like this look, and it just like all came together, and I collapsed in the break room nearby and just like was laughing, crying, and just like, oh shit, I think I broke Rosa.
Yeah, it just was so perfect. It's like the Spider-Man like emo phase and Spider-Man 3 guys, like, because this is going out to like people who only listen, but the swoop over black hair, and then for some reason Nate had like a smaller mustache, not like a really like large one with a beard, and it really was the perfect explanation. It was so good, and the way that of course Jeff has a way with delivery as well, and he just like, it's like the nonchalance that he did it in too, right? He was just like, hey, it's like Edgar Allan Hitler. He's going back to scrolling his phone. Such good times.
It's just, I love it because Jeff had this smirk that he would do when he said something that was like extremely smart and fucking hilarious. And it would, so he had like this like self like praise smirk.
Yes.
And then that
exactly.
smirk would extend into a full-on smile and a bit of a head nod if he saw that someone else really appreciated that joke too. AKA me crying on the floor, almost pissing my pants. So I see the smirk. So I'm already amused myself at the fact that like he's amused by himself. And then the like joke hits, and then I'm almost crying, and I look up and he's like full on grinning, just like pleased with himself. And I look up at Nate again, he's like just like frumpy and upset.
Oh god, it was so
Oh,
good. That was the
oh man, I miss that man so much. Oh, fun times.
that the whole crew in the early hours, right? Like that's another lovely thing is that I think it's the nice thing about makeup artist rooms in general sometimes. Like at Katowice, people were coming and going. I was the only girl because Sphinx again didn't, she has her own makeup. So I was sitting there throughout every other guy, including the CSGO guys that came through. I was like there the entire time. But it was just like, even if they didn't really speak a whole lot like of English, they did speak English. They just like they were speaking to each other in Polish for obvious reasons. I mean, it's still like a nice environment to be in. So I can feel like I can just be like, hey, this isn't really working for me, or hey, this kind of got messed up. Which also, like, PSA out there, you're probably gonna get a look you don't like, or they're probably gonna fuck up, honestly. That does happen.
Yeah.
Like recently at that Montreal, they made me very red. They didn't see it because it was one of those no light situations. And then I got on screen and I immediately noticed how red I was. So I think in the past, I just hoped that they kind of come up to me and they would fix it. But by that point, I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna go right to them and get that fixed immediately.
If you see a mistake, because it's like at the end of the day, makeup artists are still human. You know, like I make mistakes all the time, but I'm paranoid, so I'm constantly, even while we're talking, and I'm like being super chill and we're hanging out backstage, I'm still analyzing your face, going, "Is that the sliding or was that me? Did I?" You know, like, which one is it? And then you'll move, and I'll be like, "Whoo, lighting, okay." Or then you'll randomly see me go as we're talking, and then I'm like kind of grabbing something, just like, and you'll like come into your face, and you're like, "Oh, okay, we're doing this now," and I'm like, "Shh,
Yes.
it's all right,
Yeah.
just let me do the
Happen.
thing."
Oh gosh. Yeah, there's a question I've always had. So it's been a little less of a problem over the last year, I would say, especially when it came to Katowice, because it was I actually thought they did a very good job. Even though they used like, I want to say like 4 different people were my main makeup artists the entire week. But anyways, like in the past, especially because I have like my own fears of the way that my skin is, I would be like, is this actually a problem? Is me asking slash requesting, never demanding, I'm not there yet, but like requesting a makeup artist, is that actually a problem? Is being like a woman actually kind of annoying here? Because yeah, I do have to get there an hour earlier, or if I don't do that, then they can't put me on the desk for the first show, the pre-show,
Right.
because I need the time, or they can't put me in the first desk segment at all. Like, have you ever seen anything along those lines of I guess it being a problem when it comes to hair and makeup?
Backstage, no. Backstage, it's always like, oh crap, like it sucks that we have to bring her in earlier. It's always been the discussion of them trying to pressure me into figuring out a way to magically get your makeup done in 5 minutes. So if anything, it's like beef in between me and production, and never like it involving talent. Because it's always like, Rosa, we can't, that's unreasonable, bring her in that early. I'm like, well, it's unreasonable for you to start the show this early, but here we are. You know, fucking fuck EU. We're not gonna, we shouldn't do EU times. Stick with NA times, tape it, show it tomorrow. Problem solved. I don't really say these things to them, but trust me, they go through my head. It's never been anybody ever going, God, this is so annoying. It's more like me talking to production going, God, you're so annoying. How do you not know that it takes this long? We go through this every week. And another big issue is me going, let me just hire a second person. If you let me hire a second person, while the second person works on everybody else, I can then work on our female talent. and then everyone goes through it the same. You know, you might stay there. I also work a lot faster than most makeup artists that I've noticed. So it's like it'll be at the same time, or you might get her, 15 minutes after everybody else, as opposed to 45 minutes after everybody else, or having her be completely done by the time people arrive. Like, you know, so it's, for me, it's normally just me and production arguing about, can't you do this faster? No, I can't do this faster. Can't you let me hire somebody else? No, we can't let you hire someone else. Well, then I'm sorry to tell you, we have to bring her in this amount of time earlier. And it really sucks because normally I'm the one that has to make that call. I'm normally the one that they ask, how soon do you need her? And I'm the one that goes an hour early, and they're like, okay. And like, that's you. You're the one that comes in an hour early. And that's normally because it's like, okay, I'm going to give her like 5 to 10 minutes to get a coffee, go use the restroom if she needs to, and then come to the chair. And then like me and you normally get through hair and makeup in like 45 minutes, I would say.
Yeah.
But like, there are other women in the scene that have extremely long, thick hair where I'm like, that hair alone is an hour and a half. Her makeup is an additional 45 minutes. So there are some women that I'm like, you have to bring her in 2 hours early. And they're like, why? And I'm like, have you seen her hair?
Dang.
Homegirl got waist long hair. Like, I need time for that. Okay. That doesn't get done in the same amount of time as, like, you know, hour length hair. So it does vary.
I think for them, like, the only thing I've ever found to be, it's not problematic, just a bit of annoyance, but like, all these guys have been very good. Is like the talent managers are usually also kind of bundled in with this, and that's the more like inconveniencing part. Like, usually the people preparing for the show are already there anyways, so it's a matter of just you and me appearing earlier as well. But then there is that one guy who's supposed to make sure that I arrive places safely, who now has to make an additional trip, and I feel a little bad for him, but they've actually always been very nice about it.
So it's funny because, you know, I told you that Lorena just brought up the whole like dirty bed thing. You know what also we were talking about now that you mentioned talent managers? They'll rue the day they ever crossed me.
I was thinking about that, yes. StarCraft people are bullies in general, listeners.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is my word of advice for people that probably don't want to be, like, chances are that you want to be a makeup artist in esports are very low. That's cool. I get it. I'll keep reigning supreme. I'm perfectly okay with that. But if you do want to get into esports, and if something like talent management does sound like something you want to do, if you want to make sure that Jess gets to an A and B safely, cool. I will tell you, learn who these people are. When you get your goddamn call sheet and you see, you know, let's say it's a StarCraft show, and you see Maynard, and you see ZombieGrub, and you see Fear Dragon, and you see Pig, go Google who these people are. Trust me, they all have social media. They're easy to fucking find. They're so easy to find. It's creepy when I work with new talent because I know all about them before I've even met them. They're like, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Weren't you just on that one thing with, like, League of Legends, and then you were doing that other thing a few weeks ago with Smash Brothers? They're like, yeah, you're really in depth, like, knowledgeable in the scene. I'm like, no, I'm knowledgeable on you, bro. I Googled the fuck out of you before coming into this show. But it's, one, easy to talk to them at that point. Two, when you then have to do your job and you're sitting there on set going, I wonder who the talent is and who I'm supposed to get, like, to stage. You will have a photo reference in your own mind because you bothered to look up who these people are.
It's pretty useful.
You know? It's pretty useful.
Would have saved at least one guy.
Didn't do that. This guy didn't do that. So when he walks up to the talent and goes, are you the talent? And the talent decided to be a smart ass that day, because the talent, to be fair, was always a smart ass every day, and replies, no, and then keeps walking to hair and makeup, and then goes and sits in hair and makeup, and you're still wondering who the talent is. Just saying, Google would have really helped you there. Buddy.
It also would have helped for him to not mistake me as another makeup artist, despite being in the chair getting my makeup done and not saying hi to me, while he proceeded to then say hi to the other two male commentators.
Oh my god. I forgot about that because
Yeah.
I wasn't working that day. It was Lorena.
Right. Yeah.
I came to visit, and then that's when you guys told me everything, and I was like, "Whoa!"
It was an experience. It was every so often I get one of those things, you know, like that or the handshake skip, handshake, and you're like, wait a second. was that was that sexism I witnessed? Like, hold on. Anyways.
Well, what it's like too, even if you were the makeup artist, motherfucker, you better shake her hand. She's a hardworking person.
I know,
getting
right?
everybody else ready.
Yeah.
Just saying, as the actual makeup artist that's standing there and being ignored
as a human being. Yeah.
I'm a human being. Thank you.
Bit odd. So you are a person who is like kind of in the scene, yet behind it. You're not the puppet master, but you see all the strings, you know, to a degree.
Aren't I?
I mean, you specifically might be a puppet master, but
I think I am. Yeah.
I don't know about general hair and makeup. But you guys see so much, right? Like you see who gets repeat invites. You see who maybe the people like behind the scenes working are kind of muttering about. You see, I guess, the worst side of things as well, which I'm very happy to say that I don't think has actually happened in StarCraft in years. But you do see it in your experience, like what makes or breaks someone returning. I guess in general, actually.
Personality and like how easy they are to work with. So I kind of have some beef with this because there have been a few esports talent as a whole that have made very, very simple quote unquote demands. Like, hey, I need there to be like crafty. I would kind of like snacks, or can you please make sure that there's water bottles for us to be able to take to the desk? Because guess what? As a commentator and caster, you're kind of talking a lot. You're gonna need a sip of water, like, you know, even just while I'm talking to you, I'm like chugging my coffee, like, God, how do they do this for like 4 hours on a show day? You know, and you can only imagine someone that has to then like, you know, do play-by-play and color commentary, right? You're like sitting there just like talking about every single detail that's happening in this game. And requesting water and saying, "Hey, I need water at the desk," was then a huge deal on a show I worked on. Because this caster was like, "Hey, I need water at the desk," and everyone flipped. They're like, "Oh God, that caster's such a diva. Can you believe what that caster said? Like water. Like who do they think they are?" And I'm like, what?" And I had to kind of step in, and I was like, "Is it really that difficult to give my talent water? Like, they're not actually asking for a lot." Well, we were all told to bring reusable water bottles. And I'm like, you do realize that they aren't local. They don't live here. They live on the opposite side of the fucking world. So for them to bring a reusable water bottle last minute when the email was sent out yesterday, very unlikely. So why don't you just bring a fucking water bottle for the talent? If you want them to use a reusable water bottle, go buy one. Your production. If that's the motto that you want to take to be eco-friendly, I'm all for it. I always bring my own water bottles any damn way. But make sure that you find a way to provide something so basic for this person to do their job. So that's what drives me crazy. It's the lack of respect for talent. And maybe it's because I work so closely with you guys. Maybe it's because I know all of you on a very personal level as well as professional, that it drives me nuts. But I sit there going, why is it difficult if players can't connect for whatever reason? These are the people that are carrying the show. If something gets fucked up with TDs, guess who's getting yelled at? It's not you. It's not, hey, Mr. Rosa TD, how dare you fuck up this lower third? It's like, God, zombie, like, can't you guys get the lower thirds right? Like, it's directed at you, you know? Like, it's never directed at us backstage. Even when it comes to makeup, if someone looks a little orange, it was only recently did people start going, oh wow, makeup's really fucking this up.
Yeah.
Makeup's only now becoming a thing, right? But before it'd be like, oh God, she clearly doesn't know how to do her own makeup. Lol. Grill fucking up. Like, you know, it's so dumb. But if the talent have to carry the show when the rest of the crew makes a mistake or when players can't connect, a talent making a simple request shouldn't then dub them as a diva. They're carrying the damn show. give them their damn water. Sorry, the water thing really tilts me because it was
Oh,
something that actually
that's an insane
happened.
thing. Like, because I think what's really weird is that even if we were to bring something reusable, because like, theoretically we'd bring something for the plane maybe. I think it gets weird because we do drink so much, or we should be drinking a lot of not lukewarm, but room temperature water.
Yeah.
So we'd either be asking someone to refill it constantly, which also gets a little sketch when like they disappear and they don't bring it back, or like we're contaminating it now in COVID years, right? But they would just be obnoxious. So usually it's like very much so is acceptable to have plastic bottle. It's not friendly to the environment, but that is one of the things that you're expected to do.
Yeah,
that is a really weird one.
It was that, and it was another crazy one was, as you know, sitting at the desk, there's lights blinding you, right? And someone requested, hey, in between matches, can we turn down the lights?
Oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah, of course, as well. Course. But you weren't met with like F you. On this one particular show I was on, they're like, who do they think they are? Like, really? Like, we keep the lights up for a reason. I'm like, wow, you're really petty about this. Yeah. And like, I went back and like, I could see the talent like doing this, trying to look at the like screen, like what they're commentating over. And finally I go into the production room. I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry, like this might sound really stupid, but like, can we turn down the lights for the talent? And they're like, oh, why? And I'm like, because they're getting sweaty in between and they're live, so it's not like I can pop in there and do touch-ups. Yeah. Which is also an actual reason, but like that wasn't my reason, because these two talent happen to just never sweat, like perfect skin. And I'm like, fuck you for that. I'll tell them this to their face. Fuck you for that later. But, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's a problem. Okay. And they turn it down. I'm like, I just walked out the production. I couldn't like even sit there a second longer. I was like, you motherfuckers couldn't like turn down and then I could see like, as I'm walking out, they're going, just like continue like, casting. And I'm like, these poor fucking guys. Yeah. And one of them just knew. They're like, that was you, Rosa, wasn't it? You want to go bitch at them about the lights? I'm like, yes, I did. They're like,
it is such a, like, I understand that they're, because sometimes they bring it back immediately, but yeah, that was a very frustrating thing as well. And also when like they usually don't use caster. So there's caster on his desk, right? A lot of productions don't really bother having a caster camera anymore. They just kind of like, have like disembodied voices, and then you bring them over to the desk. And I think that's not necessarily it might not be the best. I like it. I'm biased, but not maybe the best. But if there is going to be a problem, if there's going to be a glaring lights or camera problems or problems getting the mic in or whatever it is, right? Then it's really not necessary to have the caster camera, right? Like if you weren't really going to use it anyways, that's a pet peeve of mine, because that has been at least two productions where they've been like, we're not going to use it, but just in case. And we're like, oh, no, come on. Just like the lights are there.
Yeah, what?
Just in case the desk can't race over in time and there's an emergency fallout. Like, I don't fucking know. Anyways, that can be annoying.
I can't. I can't. It's so difficult, right? Because again, it's like, as much as I'm crew, I'm the closest with the talent. I know the talent the best. I hang out with the talent. A lot of them I call family. Like you've heard me say it a lot. Like the StarCraft family is my special group of babies that I love like nobody else. And it's really difficult when, we've been there since 4:00 in the goddamn morning. And it's something as simple as like, hey, talent manager, can we please have coffee? Like, is there any coffee nearby? And they're like, oh no, you should have totally gotten coffee on the way in. It's like, where the fuck do you think I'm gonna go at 4:00 in the morning to get a cup of coffee, bro?
And it's so above and beyond.
Granted, that meant I couldn't get coffee either, so that's what I was really mad about.
Of course, yeah. There are some people that go above and beyond, though, and that's really awesome. But yeah, it's and this is, I think it's actually kind of, it makes sense that you would bring this up, but it's just like a general thing, actually, is that there is kind of this weird thing that can happen. Like there, of course, are people in any industry, really, but especially one where it's about you, that maybe are going to go a little insane. Maybe they are going to be actually a drama queen, a diva, whatever. Like those will happen. Absolutely. But the actual truth of it is that as much as esports personalities, especially the ones who come in from the Wild West of the early 2010s, as much as many of them slash we, I'm kind of along there, did get used to the show up and be grateful you're there scenario. As
Right.
these things become more professional, we aren't just going to request hair and makeup that's good. We're also going to be requesting like a lot of things that seem kind of silly. A lot of things that seem just kind of like, can't you just wait until you're on break and then do it yourself? Because it really is us appearing kind of almost inhuman to a degree. We're smiles and laughing and thinking of stories and doing it for hours and hours straight. And for us to have those kind of like diva moments, yeah, it might sound kind of absurd to people who don't do it, or it might even be an opportunity to, grief on a commentator as someone who's,
Right.
technical guys in their background, sure, but it does actually make a lot of sense. And I've thought about this at Distant Mount because I am someone who I think I am pretty casual, I am pretty laid back, but I think Nate does a lot of other production, and he's done like basically even more traditional broadcasting type of setups, the ones that are coming right from that TV film section. And they come in and they're like, we're going to get you catering. We're going to have water constantly available. We're going to have this guy that you talk to and he's going to go and get you whatever you want. Right. And then you go back to like a StarCraft event and it's like, that guy's going to get you right after he gets those other 4 esports that are at this event as well. And you're not going to get catering. You're going to get the pizzas and the convention. And it really is such a difference that like it doesn't make our lives miserable. But if you're going to put us up there and be the happiest motherfuckers you can be while commentating this game under really stressful conditions where if you slip up, everyone's going to hear and everyone's going to judge you, do it on the grossest diet in the worst lighting conditions with the worst makeup and mediocre pay and be fucking proud of it. Like it's it's actually kind of one of those things it is behind the scenes, and that's also what the podcast is about. That is actually very important. If someone is having an off day, it's possible that it's having an off day. It's also kind of possible that it's having an off day because something that literally started that day behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Breakfast wasn't available when it said it was going to be. Suddenly the talent's kind of like, oh, come on, guys. Like, this wasn't cool. What's happening?
Unlike us, you can't really eat while you're doing your job.
No.
It's like I had to have a long conversation with production because they're like, you're the only person that doesn't have a working lunch. And I was like, the fuck did you say? Yes, I have a working lunch. I am literally one of the few people on this entire crew that's literally running circles around the talent, trying to keep up with where every single one is at every single fucking moment, and just being like, we're so-and-so. If anybody ever wonders where the talent is, they always ask me, they're like, oh, have you seen, yep, restroom, catering, smoking. They went to go take pictures of so-and-so while they're casting. How do you know all this? Because I'm fucking watching your every goddamn move. That's why. And a lot of times people are like, oh, Rosa, you can go get your own lunch. And I'm like, no, because if this game ends in the 3 minutes that it might take me to walk over there and come back and they don't get a touch up, I'm the one that screwed. I'm the one that fucked up. And then that means that my talent's going to go on there looking shiny with a potential piece of pasta sticking out their goddamn teeth. And I wasn't there to be like, yo, bro, you got some pasta sticking out your teeth. Guess who's going to look bad? They are. And then in turn, I look bad. Even if I didn't like working with someone, I would always make sure they look the absolute best because that's my ass on the line and I'm not about that. But I do miss that though from traditional entertainment, the care and the love for the talent. If we could just take that one thing from traditional, bring it over to esports, be like, oh, so many things would get solved and fixed and taken care of. And then I would always have infinite work because everyone would always like want to work with me because I'm the apparently only trusted person in esports. And then everything would be good. And then life would be swell.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? We'd get like, mega $1 million salaries. It'd be amazing.
You know what? I understand that you as the talent deserve the mega $1 million salary, so I'll settle for that $500,000.
Okay,
I'll take that pay cut for us guys. I'm taking the dive. You heard it here first. $500,000. You're welcome.
That's another thing.
Random PA.
It's another thing that makes us another stressful part of the job is that it does there's no there is a sheet that we're given, a rundown. But it's really hard to stick to it because games they begin or end at a moment's notice. Someone could rage quit 5 minutes before you thought they would. So that's another thing that really is like you kind of have to always be there, and you guys are also part of that. You always have to be there. So, and that's what's really frustrating too about those multiple game setups. And what was really nice about Challenger is that if I went to the break room, I know you guys were there, but if I was at like a DreamHack with 4 other esports, if I went to the break room, sometimes they're there because the StarCraft kids are the coolest. But then, of course, they have everything else they're going to do. So, you know, it can be and sometimes it really is like a little like literal like, hey, my you know, like if an updo came down or something like that, like you got to get in there and get back on. So that can be very stressful. And then also like literally you have a break for a best of 3 that sounds like a potentially long time. Like legitimately it should be about 30, 45 minutes in a StarCraft series. It doesn't feel like that. You get off, you sit down, you take a rest, and you're like, okay, now I got to pay attention because I'm going to talk about this later. I got to know what's going on. And then if I leave, maybe I have to come back on the desk faster than expected. So I'm racing back down from the bathroom that for some reason is on the 2nd floor of the stadium instead of the 1st floor. And you're like, what the hell's happening?
And it's on the opposite side where the other game is happening. And then so-and-so sees you. So you have to stop there for a minute and be like, hey, man, yeah, what's up? Yeah, totally casted StarCraft 2 today. You know, just another day. Yeah, I remember that one day. It was really good seeing you. Oh, you're going to go to that one place after this? Yeah, maybe I'll meet you there. Oh, but I have to go see this other person. Oh, do you want to come to this other thing? Oh, shit, I got to go. And the next thing you know, you're running back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you see me standing there, tapping my toe like, you said you were just going to the bathroom. I told you I need 10 minutes with you before.
Yeah, I had to do an interview once. Some very well-meaning guy, but you know, actually, I don't think you've been to the. Have you been to the Montreal Olympic Stadium? Ah, damn. Well, it's an Olympic stadium, so it's quite large, and we're on the big floor. And some guy wanted me to do an interview, and so what I wanted to do during my break, which again is like 30, 45 minutes, but 30 is even kind of like stressful. So you're gonna guess 20 to be safe. I wanted to go get, you know, powdered, so I wasn't shiny. While this guy interviewed me, because he was like a part of like a local news station, so it was like a legitimate camera. Yeah. I wanted to get that done. Then I wanted to do the interview. Then I wanted to get it done again because I was going to be on the desk immediately after. Well, this guy, again, well-meaning, but yikes. He was like, oh, there's no place good here because they basically have all these like local lights, but the big stadium lights aren't on because that would just ruin everyone's lighting. So he's like, we need better lighting. And so we went up to the first floor, the entrance way, because you're going to go down all the stadium steps, the first floor into the main like entryway, actually. So there was also tons of people there. So he was like asking people to like stay quiet while I was doing this. And I was like, what? And so that lasts like 10 minutes. And he's like, oh, I have even more questions. And I'm like, yeah, okay, like, you know, hit him. And then at the end, he's like trying to like, you know, thank me. And I'm just like, yeah, I really got to go. Like, I have no idea what's happening. There's no monitors here that say what, you know, what's happening in the game. I have no idea how long I have. I'm going to race back. And then I'm like kind of like hurriedly walking. And as I come back, apparently this best of 3 was like 15 minutes long. Like the countdown timers are down. I'm like,
shit.
Like I'm power walking my butt off.
Fucking hell.
And so of course I can't get powdered before I go onto the desk either. So, but that it just seemingly goes by so fast. And, it is so much about how you appear on camera that, you know, coming after a frazzled experience is it's not your best work when that happens.
I mean, even for like the people that smoke, right? Like I used to smoke and like I'd walk out with the guys and then, you know, we're half talking and we're both like this. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. And then crap. And like you see, like it's simultaneous, it's almost like synchronized swimming. Where you see all the cigarettes like fly for the ground, the foot squish it, and all of us power walk back in. And we're just like, uh-huh, cool. Yeah, okay. And oh God, that's really sucky that you went through that. I'm sorry. We're like, yo, congratulations on that one thing. Uh-huh. And we're still walking and talking and like watching the games because you, like you said, you never know how much time you actually have. Mm-hmm. So it's always on. That's like my phone. If my phone dies while I'm on a show, I'm pissed. If I get a cable or something, because I need this on. If I go to the bathroom, I'm streaming and I'm watching the games, like making sure that like I'm keeping tabs of everything. Or I'm telling someone I'm running to the restroom. You better let me know when we're 10-minute warning.
Yeah, I've been in the bathroom once or twice when I hear like, you know, the loud GG called, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't go any faster. This is a process that can't be sped up. Like it's It's a bit stressful, but what's so funny too is that will happen. But then for Challenger, because we knew the exact distance we had to walk, we were constantly pushing all of the minders buttons, or like they'd be like, "Hey, they got like a minute to go," and we're like, "Yeah, we know." And I'm gonna be like
Okay,
30
but
seconds, and
that's
you're like,
different. That's different. You're literally 3 steps away.
"Yeah."
It's like you open the makeup room door, you're on stage.
Yes.
Well, okay, there's like a curtain between us, but still, like, like everything was like, I could open the door and like scream your name from any part of the studio, and you know exactly where I was at and what was happening. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I think that's why Rue the Day guy was so angry. We're like, bro, chill. It's literally 2 steps, and I'm saying 5 words, and we have 5 fucking minutes. It doesn't take me 5 minutes to take 2 steps.
Yes. In our experience, it was I was finishing a story, and Nate was just like, "Oh, she's almost done. Hold on," and he got angry at that, which was, oh my god. Hopefully, this guy isn't like coincidentally my biggest fan or something. You know, sorry, dude, listening to the podcast.
If he was your biggest fan and he didn't know who the talent,
well, maybe
was,
after, clearly,
I'm doubly pissed.
I do look quite different, though. I mean, when you're talking about like branding and whatnot, I mean, I definitely have had that experience where, for BlizzCon especially, there was makeup artists who were directly over from like literally their previous job was working on like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, number 5 or whatever the fuck is that. And they really dolled me up, which I didn't push back on. I was pretty new still. It was like my second, big event. And I also like it, I was still kind of experimenting as well. Like, yep, do whatever. And I just looked very different. And that's all the comments I ever got. It was just like, wow, you look so different. You look so different. That's necessarily bad.
Which is always scary for me because I'm like, is that a good thing? Are you upset at how different I look?
Yeah.
Do I look different in a bad way? Is this a good different?
Well, my fear was that they would expect it from here on out, and I'm just like, no, I don't. Nope. That was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours in there, because they also, what I didn't like the first time they put fake eyelashes on, they put the whole thing on, and I was like, I was constantly bothered by it. So that's the one thing. The next day, I was like, I don't mean to be a bother, but like, I really didn't like that. And they're like, oh, but it's so helpful. It really makes your eyes pop. And I was just like, yeah, but it really bothers me. So
okay, that's something that does irk me. If you're a professional makeup artist and you're listening to this, if your fucking talent says they don't like something, it doesn't matter how much we think it would look good on them. That doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if, I don't know how many times I've wanted to put falsies on you, and you're like, yeah, they irritate me, and I'm like, cool, not gonna put them on. Just gonna really work this mascara on your face. And like, you see where you're like, why are you spending so much time on my eyelashes? And my eyelashes are weird. And I'm like, nope, just gotta make them look like they're fake ones. Like, but they're real. Yep. Shh. But like, yes, it's gonna take a little bit more time, but it doesn't. And I repeat, it does not matter if you're a professional makeup artist and you're sitting there going, but I know what's best for this person and what's gonna make them pop. You're also not the person that's gonna stand up there in front of sometimes like millions of people with your face talking about something for an extended period of time, and something where you have to like watch something else. It's not like you're just sitting there and just doing whatever and playing a role. Like, you're actively watching a game, and false eyelashes get in the way of that. They can be a little heavy. Sometimes they push down on the eyelid, and you're just like, oh, can't, like, you feel like you're walking around everywhere like doing this instead of properly seeing, right? And it drives me nuts. If someone tells me, hey, I don't like falsies, I'll be like, cool, good to know. Do you not like full strips, or do you not like halvesies, or do you just not like them? Oh, you don't like them? Alrighty, not gonna put them on your face. If it's something where we have a little bit more time, I'm gonna be like, do you mind if we try putting the half ones on, see if those are comfortable? Because yeah, it's really gonna help with your, opening up the eye. Nope, don't want it. Cool. I did my part by going, hey, I think this would look great. You don't like it? Alrighty, I'm not gonna push it on you. Moving on. It's just the way it is. There's a lot of people I know in the industry that don't like red lipstick. I've maybe convinced a few people to like start transitioning into it. I think I've made you wear red lipstick once too. Yeah, red.
I mean, isn't that the normal? I don't know.
Natural lip color is normal.
Yeah, I was like, why is red a big
But you know,
deal?
some people don't like red lipstick, and I'll be like, hey, maybe it's a shade of red. Do you mind if one of these days we try it? Oh yeah, maybe on finals when I feel adventurous. Okay, cool. Like I'm not just gonna sit there and be like, no, you're gonna wear red lipstick now, and that's your only choice. Like,
Yeah.
no, man, just like this person knows how they want to look. This person knows what they're comfortable in. Don't fight that. Like, if they don't want it, it saves you 10 minutes. False
Hmm.
lashes take time to put on. Like, be grateful that you get those 10 minutes back. And also, it should not take 2.5 hours to do your hair and makeup. That's
It was a
ridiculous.
long process. It was quite boring as well. But I think it's like, again, going back to making yourself comfortable with, the people who are going to be helping you look the best. I think actually like messaging ahead to the tournament organizer, like, do you have them? Who are they? And then messaging them is actually like very helpful. I wish I
Yeah.
had done it more. I did make sure to talk to people the day that we got in. But that only gave them so much time to prepare if they weren't, professional makeup artists. But yeah, definitely do that. And that just comes down to like, as well, because they'll probably also give you a little bit of like a tidbit of like, hey, the producer likes this or that. They're gonna want you to wear a suit and tie, or they're gonna want you to wear a polo shirt, or whatever it is, if they're not telling you, which can also be the case. So it's just always good. I mean, I think in general, you should, like, baseline, be a nice person to everyone. Okay. Don't say hi to the talent and then don't say hi to the guy
Yeah.
handling the rig. Like, it's a bit rude. But especially when it comes to like, you're both going to help each other, right? They're going to look good by making you look good, and you're going to feel good by asking for what you want. So kind of sums up the whole experience. But as we round out our 90 minutes here, I do have a question from Patreon.
Yeah.
So, makeup artists often seem in a bit of an island during productions. Do you think this is a good thing, or are there ways you think the makeup artist should be more integrated? Have you worked shows with more integration? And if so, what did you think?
Okay, see, so that's a little confusion as far as island, because we are very much like in our own world, and we kind of almost independently exist from the rest of the show in esports. But I'm not entirely mad at that, because there's so much that I just need to do that I can't bother production with, because they're handling a live show. So for an inexperienced makeup artist, I can imagine how uh scary that might be. Because I remember my first show, it was just me, and I was just kind of like wandering around going, I don't know what, because I wasn't told what time things were going live. I wasn't told who I was even working on. And if it wasn't for the fact that I already knew my like who the talent were just from my own like nerdisms, like I'd be oblivious. So when I saw the StarCraft guys walking, I'm like, this guy looks familiar. And I had to like go back and be like, okay, my friend watches StarCraft. This is oh shit, that's better. Okay, cool. Oh my god, that's DJ. I know DJ Wheat. That's DJ Wheat. And then I had my own like little moments of, okay, this is who I'm working on. This is how I know they need to look moving forward. It can be hard for someone that doesn't have that experience and doesn't have that knowledge. The best thing I do is hang on to the talent. Like when I'm in a new show and I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to be, I just like attach myself to the talent and I go, I'm gonna hover around you. That might mean that I'm in a chair right next to like the desk, but I'd rather be in a chair right next to the desk than be somewhere in the back and not know where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, I don't know if there is a better way to integrate makeup into production, because it's just like they're handling a live show, and as a makeup artist you're supposed to be running around following talent anyways. So it just kind of comes with the territory. It's kind of just a part of the rule.
Yeah. Well, like, for instance, what would you think of, incorporating the hair and makeup artists in the day before activities? So sometimes they're there because they're doing photo shoots and media day, so
Right,
that's already
media day,
given. But
yeah.
but even then, let's say there is a media day, so you guys are supposed to be there and you're getting paid to be there, thankfully. Do you think that it would be actually very helpful to have, kind of a meet and greet almost, like a, hey, these are the makeup and hair guys, like they're also maybe even the wardrobe guys, actually. That's another thing we didn't really touch on, but
wardrobe
yeah, that can
Wardrobe
be a thing.
definitely, I think, needs introductions more, because makeup, it's really tricky to say it from my perspective, because I've been in the industry for so long and I've worked with so many people that I kind of already know to do these things. So if I am on media day, I will always pop into where the talent are. I'll always just kind of be like, here, the talent here today. Oh, they are. Where are they at? They're over there. And then like you'll kind of see my head like pop out from behind a curtain. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? And then like, you know, I'll hang out with the talent for a little bit. If it's someone new that I don't know, I'll make sure that I introduce myself to them. Be like, hey, yeah, I'm Rosa. I do hair and makeup. Well, I have you. What are your preferences? What's your skin like? Blah, 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 blah. You know, what kind of music do you like to listen to in the makeup room tomorrow? Okay, cool. I'll have a playlist ready for you. And then I'll ignore everything that they said and I'll put on whatever music I want to put on any down. But I'll take into consideration like their skin needs and stuff like that. But if you are a makeup artist and you are looking to get into esports, it's better just to like just the same way we said about the talent, ask questions. Makeup artists ask questions. If you've never worked on an esports show before and you have no idea what the fuck is going on, talk to your talent if you already know them. If you don't already know them, just kind of like poke around, be like, hey, is a talent here today? I'd really like to meet them before like, you know, the show starts. If you're there the day before. If you're meeting them the day of, don't be afraid to talk about like the game and the show and what you're doing. Guess what? The talent likes to talk about themselves a little bit.
Little.
Admit it, it's true. A little.
Oh, it is.
You know, just be like, hey, you know, how'd you get into this? Hey, you know, I actually don't know anything about this game. Can you explain it to me? Because not only do the talent like talking about the game and themselves, but it's also, I've heard this before. It's kind of good practice to be able to break down the game. So it kind of gets you already like moving, right?
Yeah,
it's like a mini exercise before the show starts. Because what were we watching? We're doing a CS:GO show. And me with games, if it's something that I don't play regularly, I move the knowledge in and out because I have to cover so many different IPs, right? So right now I might know a lot about CS:GO. I guarantee you in a week I won't know shit about CS:GO. Like if I'm on that show. You know, so 2 weeks from now, I'm going to know everything there is to know about StarCraft. 5 days later, I'm already moved on to Hearthstone, so I can't store that information. So unless it's a game that I'm actively playing or that I've been a part of for a long period of time, like StarCraft, I don't retain that info. So we're sitting there, and Semler, whom we've worked with for years, Lorena was like, so what happens in CS:GO again? I'm like, a bomb? Kill everybody, deactivate the bomb. You have to activate the bomb. Depends on who you are. Samler, what happens again? And he was like, yeah, Rosa, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, I can't be bothered right now. He's like, so, and then like literally sits there and explains it to us again. And I was like, okay, yes, I was right. You kill everybody else first. It's round of 32, right? First one, okay. And like it slowly, or round of 30, it all slowly came back. And I was like, all right. See, Lorena, first to 16. I knew that.
Nice. Yes.
And she's like, good job, Rosa. And then we were on Valorant, and that was just like a what? And I, you know, we didn't have media day. And this is another situation where I said social media matters. So I basically hit up everybody on social media. I sent everyone a DM, and this was during COVID times. So, or now, COVID times are now. I sent everyone a DM, and I was like, hey guys, even though I knew everyone, I still sent the message of, hey guys, I'm your makeup artist on this. Lorena's going to be helping me out and assisting you. We're taking all the precautions that we can as far as COVID are concerned. We have a UV sterilizer. We have this, we have that. Excuse me. I did everything to communicate with the talent to make sure that they were comfortable and I was comfortable as far as like the pandemic is concerned, right? And all the precautions involved in me doing their makeup safely and them being around me without a mask. So, just communicate. If you don't know what's going on, I guarantee you the talent always know what's happening because they have to be in the know for every step of the goddamn way. So if something was off and I didn't know what was happening, I'd run up to like Puckett and be like, Puckett, who's next? He'd be like, oh, so and so are next. Okay, cool, thanks. And then I'd go and I'd do touch-ups on them, or I'd make sure they get into hair and makeup. You know, the talent always know the who's going next, what players are playing, or what teams are playing, or players are playing when there's going to be a break, if there's going to be a break, and when the game is going to end. Chances are the talent know this. They'll be like, oh, okay, you see that right there? If they manage to capture this, or if they manage to kill that guy, or if they have enough, this person's going to win. Right. Give them 3 minutes. Sure enough, 4 minutes later, because you guys always underestimate the time frame. Oh, do we? Every time. You guys always undershoot it by like 2 or 3 minutes. But, 2 or 3 minutes after the time that they told you that the events happened. Or if you hang out long enough, you'd be like, oh, no. Something else happened where we didn't predict that this was going to happen. So now it's going to be even longer. It's going to be even shorter. Yeah. But the talent always know everything. So if you're new and you've met the talent, or if you don't know who the talent is, find them. Find them. They know everything. They will keep you in the loop. Because guess what? They're going to want the touch-ups just as much as you want to do their touch-ups. So just be like, yo, hey, Zombie, what's happening? I don't know how many times I've come up to you and be like, just woke up. What's happening? Because I'm sorry. Yes. I totally did fall asleep at Challenger a lot. Yes. I was dealing with so much personal shit. And also, we were there at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was dumb. No,
it was brutal. That was actually the best and the worst thing they did was give us that room. The not crappy makeup room, but the hanging out room. Yeah, because there's actual sofas. Yeah. It was like, oh no, that's dangerous. And everyone alternated sleeping. Yes. Although I do miss when we were in the makeup room, because there's a day where I was watching, I think it was Gundam or something. Like I was watching some anime, and then Jeff looks over at me, and I finally I kind of jolted up. And he goes, "You missed all the exciting stuff to your anime." And Nate walks in, he goes, "You missed it too. There's all this happening in the anime, and all these explosions." And I look over at Rosa, and she's just sound asleep as if nothing's going on. And I was like, I missed this, and this. He's like, sure, man. I don't know what was happening, but you missed the exciting stuff. Yes. And then I rewind by 2 minutes, and all the exciting stuff happening. Goes, you see? Yeah, great. You were watching something that I had watched before too, I think, and I remember just finding you just sleeping and just being like, oh, she's missing all the really important bits.
It was the serial killer one. I've been meaning to message you. What is the name of that damn anime? I've been trying to find it.
Oh, is it Erased?
Yes.
They go back in time, and he's a kid, and he's trying to stop a murder from happening.
I don't know if he went back in time. I do remember that there's a serial killer in it.
Well, that's the only one I can think of. I mean, technically, Future Diary also has a serial killer, but they're all serial killers.
I feel like Erase sounds more familiar. I
think it might have been that. I remember that's the 2 ones I've watched recently, and by that I mean in the last couple of years, because I used to be a big weeb. Yeah. But then those are the only 2 I've watched recently.
We all were.
Weren't we though? Yes.
I remember when was it Ravi that was like, Rosa's such a weeb? I was like, I'm not a weeb. He's like, Rosa, throughout this entire season, I have seen you go from Gundam Wing to JoJo to My Hero Academia to Sailor Moon to this. He's like, you have hit every single genre of anime in this entire time that we've been here. And I'm like, I caught up with all the episodes of my normal shows, okay? I'm not a weeb. And he asked me some obscure ass fucking question. I answered it, and I was like, shut the fuck up, Robbie. I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
That's when you say takes one to know one. Fear Dragon's also a bit of a weeb.
Yeah, a bit, yeah. A lot of bit.
A bit, yeah. All right, well, that's should round out the official part of the podcast. Thank you very much for joining. It's time we do any of your shout outs and where we would have seen you or will be seeing you, I guess. Your work, I suppose.
Oh, God. I mean, a pandemic, so at home.
You're right.
Chilling at home. No, Lorena and I started streaming to stay busy throughout the week. We started this show on Twitch called Beat That Pixel, where we give video game characters advice on their hair, makeup, and skincare.
That's pretty fun.
We're not nice to a lot of them, actually.
I bet, yes.
We just covered God of War, and if you played God of War, you know that there's something called Valkyries in the game.
Yes.
And the Valkyries are some of the hardest bosses to beat. One of them is extremely tacky, and I fucking hate her. fucking disgusting. Her
Dude.
character is garbage.
Oh
It's
my
garbage.
God. I was playing Call of Cthulhu, the PC game that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You would have a field day on those ugly motherfuckers in that character, man. Like I was commenting in like all the time on them.
I will make sure that I do that next. But we did like we covered the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3. And we're covering 2. And Lorena's like, ooh, Mr. X. And I was like, what's happening here? She's like, I mean, look at him. He's like, that's a man that's confident in his wrinkles. I was like, are you hitting on Mr. X? What? And for those of you that may not have played Resident Evil 2, he's like a really, really tall character with like a fedora and a trench coat. And he's like kind of...
He looks like a pale robot with wrinkles.
Yeah, that's perfect. But like deep set wrinkles, like a bulldog's body wrinkles. You know what I'm talking about. Like that's how deep the wrinkles are. She's like, I feel like he wakes up in the morning, he's like, you're chasing someone a day. You're gonna get them. I believe it. I'm like, she's like half talking, half flirting with Mr. X. And I'm just like, Lorena, you do realize this is like the character that terrorized me throughout this entire stream, right? She's like, oh girl, he tall, dark, and handsome. I don't know. And I'm like, what?
Is he though?
So,
is he? She didn't say that about Nemesis as well.
She didn't hit on Nemesis as much, but Resident Evil 3 is my favorite game, so I was kind of fangirling on Nemesis a little bit. But yeah, so Beat That Pixel, we do that every Friday, and I think you could probably see some of the like clips or stuff. I'll send you the one where she's hitting on Mr. X because I almost spit out my drink. I'm like laughing so hard at her. It's dumb. It's not like there are portions that are scripted where it's like, hey guys, welcome to my episode, blah blah blah, and then the end we're like, thanks for watching, follow us here. But everything in between is not scripted. So there's a lot of, what the fuck are you talking about? Lorena, stop hitting on the zombie. And a lot of Rosa just ranting on for very long periods of time about how disgusting this character is. Like Sigrun the Valkyrie in God of War. I will not forgive her. She is tacky and I hate her. Yeah. She's an all gold one. She's a queen. So when you beat all of them, you have to go back to the Council of the Valkyries, and then you have to drop their helms off at the chair, and then she comes out.
Okay, yeah. I only tried one, so it would make sense. I wouldn't have met her.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Okay, get on my level, pleb, and then we can talk about this again.
All right. Well, that will cut it for the official part of the podcast. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll probably tell some really funny stories after I end the podcast version here. So if you want to be a Patreon, that's how you get the behind the scenes info. Sometimes it actually has some juicy bits, and you can find out more about that on the Patreon, patreon.com/ZombieGrub. So thanks guys, and I hope to see you back here for episode 22. Bye-bye.